Good morning, YouTube. I am actually going to try to make a video today, just kind of a get ready completely with me video. So I'm going to show you guys the products that I put in my hair as soon as I get out of the shower. My hair is towel dried right now. I do put some leave-in conditioner and I do detangle it before I'm going to straighten it. Now it's a different case whenever I'm scrunching my hair, which I plan on doing a video on that at a later time. Also, I will be doing my, pre-skincare before I put my makeup on, and I'll let you know. I haven't talked in a long time, okay? I'm like not connected to society, so it's all fucked up. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna show you guys what I put in my hair, and then I will show you guys what I do before I put on my makeup, as far as my face goes, and let's get into the video. Alrighty guys, so I actually, these are all from the drugstore. I actually put these two in my hair right after getting out of the shower. Coconut oil, repair conditioner, and then I do the leave-in conditioner also. I put a little bit of the coconut oil, and then I'll put about, I don't know, maybe a quarter size of the Fructis. I'll start off with actually this one, which is the coconut repair. It's pretty thick, so I only put about that much in my hand, and I usually rub it towards my ends because that's where it's really dry. I haven't had a haircut in about, I haven't had a haircut in about 6 years, so she's pretty long. But I do just focus that towards the end of my hair because that's where it's most dry, and that stuff is pretty thick. Now, as far as the Little Miss Fructis leave-in conditioner, I have been using this for years and years and years. My mom uses it, my cousins use it. I've had a lot of my family. I put them on because the stuff is really light and it doesn't leave your hair too heavy, especially if you're going to straighten it afterwards. So I pretty much just brush it through my hair with my hands. And I'll grab a detangling brush, whichever it may be, which I use this one, just any wide tooth comb, and I start from the bottom and then just kind of work my way up into my hair. So let me do the other side real quick. And that's as far as I go with my hair. Now, I usually just let it air dry for a little bit, at least while I'm doing my makeup. So I part it and let her live for a little bit, just kind of soak in all of that leave-in conditioner. My hair is super soft now. And then we'll move on to my skincare. Alrighty guys, so on to my skincare. This is what I use. I will cleanse. I'll cleanse with this, which is a molecular cleansing water, and then I will tone with this, which has a little bit of witch hazel in it and rose water, and then I will moisturize with my acne control moisturizer. It's a clean and clear. You can get all of these at Walmart. I use the molecular water first. Just put a few drops in and just kind of cleanse my face. I already cleansed my face in the shower with just a regular face wash, but I like to make sure that I get super clean skin before I put makeup on because I don't want my pores to get big or to get any more acne than I already have. So I went in with this. It's almost out, but I have a brand new bottle, so I'm good. And then I'm gonna go into my toner and I'm gonna tone my face up real quick, which pretty much just dries all of the oils in your face. And this is a hydrating toner, so it just kind of it does leave a little bit of hydration, but it does dry your skin out a lot, so you're gonna need a moisturizer. Also put Vaseline on my lips. I do that every night and every morning just because it's a It's pretty thick and it works, especially whenever I'm trying to scrub my, use my lip scrub to get all the dead skin off my lips before I put my liquid lipsticks on. So now I'm going to go ahead and kind of pat everything off. Anything that's extra. And then I'm going to go in with my moisturizer, which is this. It's like acne control. I use about 2 pumps and I pretty much just saturate my face in that. And I let that sit until I get to my makeup station. And then I'll be adding one more moisturizer and some primer. And then we can get into the look. Alrighty, so before I start my skincare, I always like to re-moisturize, which I use this Jergens Glow pretty much natural glow daily moisturizer on my face. I already moisturized with the Clean and Clear, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on my face also. This is because I'm a really dry person. Now, if you're not dry, I wouldn't recommend moisturizing twice, but it works for me and it keeps my skin from looking so textured. So I just go ahead and do this. Usually let that sit and then I'll go ahead and go into my eyebrows with my e.l.f. pomade in medium brown, and it can be used as a eyeliner or an eyebrow gel. So, and I use my Morphe, it's a Morphe just kind of angled brush. So as you can see, this eyebrow doesn't have as much hair because I got bit by a dog when I was younger, but we can make them even. Then I like to bring my eyebrow kind of outwards into a point. To the top of my eyebrow. And just kind of fill that in there. And then I'll do the front of my eyebrow, which I'll just kind of make a box right in front of it. And then go over the top. And then just kind of slide my brush through. And I'll take any type of spoolie that you have. This is a spoolie off of a NYX Professional, if you can see that, eyebrow pencil, but I don't really like the eyebrow pencil, so I just use the end of it. And I brush through. And then I'll be carving out my eyebrows here in a little bit, so I'll show you guys how I do that. I'm gonna do the other eyebrow off camera, and then I will be back. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and carve my eyebrows out with this, which is the NYX Born Glow, and then a Morphe concealer brush. So I already put a little bit on my hands, and I'm gonna go ahead and start underneath here. And you don't need a lot of product, you just need enough to carve out, so I think I poured a little bit too much in my hand, but we'll use that here in a second. And I'm gonna go ahead and go just kind of make a shape on the top to get rid of the excess product that's already on this brush. So now I'm gonna go do the carving. So and try not to use too much product because you really don't need a lot. You just need enough to be able to cover the, just pretty much just be able to outline. And I always try to keep my end of my eyebrow to a point. And if it goes too far down, I'll just kind of smudge it out. I'm going to do the other eye really quick. I want to make it more defined, I can always just go over it and add that little tail. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the middle of my eyebrows and then just swipe up. Now I'm gonna take my beauty blender, I'm gonna wet it really quick and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I got my beauty blender wet. Kind of squeeze out all the excess, and then I'm going to use whatever I have left from my concealer, and I'm going to grab just a little bit and put that onto my eyelids and use that as a primer. And any excess I just kind of go around my eye. And then since I do have quite a bit left, I'm going to go ahead and do spot correcting, which I'm going to take the same brush that I kind of carved my eyebrows with, and I'm going to kind of dip it in there and place on top of any redness that's already there. Been pretty good lately since doing that little skin regimen you seen me do earlier. So I would definitely recommend doing that if it isn't, if you're not too sensitive in your skin. I just have really dry skin, so I have to really, really moisturize. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that as is. Now I'm gonna go on to my eyeshadow here, and I'm going to set it with, so I'm going to be setting it with this Airspun, I think this is in translucent. See, still got some product in there from last time. I'm going to shake a little bit under the lid, kind of go around the edges since I already have a little bit of product on here. And then I'm going to pat that in just to kind of take the stickiness away from it, which this concealer actually kind of dries pretty quickly, so you don't need too much powder. I'm going to move on to my eyeshadow, which would be, I think I'm going to go for more of a neutral look today, just kind of easy. I'm going to be using some of my James Charles palette, and then also some brown tones and the Conspiracy palette. So I'm going to start off with the Conspiracy palette, and I'm going to get my little blending brushes. Now I'm going to start off with a transition shade, and I'm going to start off with a very light brown with a fluffy blending brush, which would be this shade, no, this shade right here. So and then I'm just going to go on top and warm it up. And try to hold your brush as far away from the tip as possible so you have a little bit more control. And you're not pushing it in to where it doesn't make so many streaks. It's helped me a lot to get my makeup to be a little bit more blended. So alrighty, so now I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper brown with a thinner brush. Now this is a little bit of a thinner brush. still kind of has some brown on it from last time I used it, but some Morphe brush. And I'm gonna use Diet Root Beer out of the Conspiracy palette, and I'm gonna be doing the same thing, holding it from the end and just kind of blending. Even if you get like a harsh line like that, you can leave it and then you can go back and then just kind of blend it in. So since I have harsh lines on both eyes, I'm gonna go back to the brush that I was using before, and I'm going to blend that in. Sorry that you guys aren't centered. Just kind of circle it around, blend it up, smooth out that harsh line. You see the difference. Not using see, if you hold the brush too far up, it will just kind of like, I don't know, it's too much pressure, so it's really good to hold the brush towards the end and then just kind of blend outward. I'm going to use a dark brown on the edge, on the outer part here, and then kind of make it deeper into the crease. Which I don't have a color that works for me in this palette, so I'm gonna go ahead and move over to my James Charles palette. And I like to use this color here. I don't know what it's called, but it is a darker, it's just a darker brown pretty much, kinda. So I'm going to place that on the outer part of my eye here, you guys can see, and then kind of work it into my crease, and my crease only. And I don't really need much blending, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do the other eye. Again, just kind of patting it into the outer part, and then going straight into the crease here. And I'm using the brush really close because I do need that hard pigment, especially in this crease area. I need it to be pretty precise. Now if I wanted to just blend it out, I could use the end and then just kind of, you know, blend it in there, but that's not really what I'm looking for here. And I have about one more step, but I'm literally done with my eyeshadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this, this pink. It's pretty much looks like a pink highlighted shade. Let's see if I can show you guys what it looks like. You can see how it just shines. I'm gonna put that on my lid. So I usually mix these two, and it makes a really, really pretty pop of color. Pop of like chrome color. And pretty much call it a day on my eyes. Now I'm gonna grab another blending brush and I'm going to blend out this really harsh line up here. And let's see, blending is really important because you get those harsh lines and it just doesn't work. So that will be my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my eyeliner. I'm gonna do one side and then I'm gonna do one side, then I'll show you guys how I do my other side, and then we'll get into some foundation. Okay, so I have one eye of my top eyeliner on. I'm gonna show you guys how I do it on this other eye. So pretty much look straight into the mirror, and I just draw a line on top. Okay, now for my wing, I usually go ahead and just take the same thing and let me not forget to put some white eyeliner on. So I like to use white underneath my eyes on my waterline to make it pop. And then I use that white line to figure out where I'm gonna put my wing. Sorry. This NYX jumbo eye pencil. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that into my waterline. And I like mine to be pretty pigmented, so I go in pretty hard. I kind of follow that same line and I pull in. So that's how I do my wing. And my wings are never the same, so don't try to get them perfect, but just at least try to follow the line of your waterline. And I know I'm being super boring in this video, but I just haven't put out a video in a while. And a lot of you guys ask me how I do my makeup. And this is just a little demonstration. I'll definitely go more in depth into it at another time, but right now I'm just getting ready to go to Amarillo, and I just figured I would just hop on here and show you guys what I do to get ready every day, which I don't get ready every day, girl. Don't get it twisted, I do not get ready every day. I get ready whenever I have to. So, alrighty. So as you can see, they are not perfect and they are not the same, but that's what we have eyelashes for. So I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to do my face makeup, and then I will be placing some eyelashes on these eyeballs here. Before I do that, I usually go in with a mascara just on my top lashes to let it dry while I'm doing my face makeup. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is what she looks like. I kind of used a lot of it. You can get this in combination in oily skin, or you can get it in normal to dry skin, but you can get the formula that you need depending on your skin type, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and I usually use about 2.5 pumps, kind of drag it down my face and on my forehead, and then I'll just blend it in with the concealer that I had sitting there. I just blended it in with that. I do kind of go into my ears a little bit because sometimes it's not my color, which right now I feel like it matches pretty well, but you know, I still have to contour and still have to put some concealer on, so. And I do put foundation on my lips just because for one, I have lip filler, and for two, I like to line my lips before putting my lipstick on. To me, I'm gonna go ahead and put some of my concealer on. Just kind of put it in the dark areas, and then of course right here, because you want to separate this right here to make your face look a little bit lifted. So, and then we're going to go up here. I'm gonna go ahead and use to cover up some of that darkness here and bring that up here to kind of separate where my contour is going to be and the look of my eye. So, and I don't like to go heavy on a lot of concealer. A lot of people will sit there and draw triangles, and that's just too much product for me. I mean, to each his own, but you do not need that much product, I promise. If you put it on correctly, you will not need that much product. So, I feel like that looks really good. I'm gonna let that sit. And then I'm going to grab my lashes, throw some glue on them, and then probably go ahead and set my face. But I'm going to show you guys how I set my face. I used to bake a lot, but I've learned my lesson. Okay, I'll show you guys that here in a second. Let me pop these lashes out of wherever the hell I left them, and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so I got my lashes here. They are in the brand called Yami. Don't mind the ones that are missing, but this is what they look like. They are 40 lashes, and I got them off Amazon. They're faux mink lashes by the brand Yami. Now this doesn't have a style, but here is their Instagram here. I don't know if you guys can see. I can't really see the camera, but it's down here. And I got them off Amazon for $8. The best $8 I've ever spent. These eyelashes are amazing. They're super, 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 super fluffy, as you can see. And they were $8 for 5 pairs. Girl, I'm gonna save me some money. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull my lashes out. Now I did trim these down. As you can see, they're a little bit shorter because these have more of a longer strip. I just kind of cut off one of the lashes, I guess you could say, and just made them a little bit better, smaller, so they can fit my eye a little bit better. So before putting them on, I like to just kind of put them in a U shape and make them into the correct shape. Now I do one line of my Kiss, what is this? It's the Kiss lash adhesive, and it goes on kind of a bluish color. So when it's ready, it kind of disappears a little bit, but I do put a thin layer of that on. I'm gonna go ahead and do that to the other eyelash, and then I will show you guys how I apply them. Alrighty, so I've already put glue on my lashes with the Kiss strip lash adhesive, and now I'm going to set my face. Now I usually would bake my face, like I'd grab the beauty blender, stick it in the powder, and then no, homegirl, don't do that. So what you're gonna do is, if you have dry skin, I always drop shit. So since I have really, really dry skin, I am going to take a little bit of this powder and I am going to pat into the crease and around my eye and bring that up, just to keep it from looking so sandy. Now, if you guys like to bake and you're wondering, why is this so grainy? Why is this looking so dry? It's because you don't need to bake. People who need to bake are the people who have really, really oily skin. Now, if you have oily skin, by all means, go for it, bake, do your thing. But I have recently learned that just putting a little bit of powder on my face goes a long way. So now I'm going with a super, super fluffy brush. I'm sticking the tip of it into my powder. I always kind of top off the excess, holding it from the end, and just kind of going over my skin with it. Now, it doesn't really matter how much powder you have on there, as long as you're just doing lightly. And I don't really like to brush, I like to pat, because it will make streaks into your foundation. So I'm just gonna do that now. Yes, so it looks super natural. I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit closer real quick just so I can show you what the foundation and this powder can do. All the way here. So I'm gonna get a little bit closer to this camera real quick. Now if you can see, this is super, it just doesn't look heavy. It just looks good. So I let these sit while I did that. Now I'm gonna grab some tweezers and I'm gonna apply them to my eyes, and I'm gonna show you guys how I apply my lashes. Alrighty, so I usually go ahead and start with the first one that I put glue on because that's the one that's been sitting a little bit longer. And I grab it at the base and I will apply the front a little bit in front of, I mean, I've already put them on, but I like to put my lash right here. Not in here, but right here. And that's why I trim them down. But since I let them sit, they just automatically stuck by themselves. And since I did kind of, you know, make them into this U shape, it just kind of naturally sticks in the correct spot. So I'm gonna put this other one on the same way. Kind of be cautious, conscious, whatever, of where you're putting the beginning of the lash, so it doesn't poke your eye. Which that one applied also pretty quickly. So the trick to it is just letting them sit. Like I said, I let them sit while I put my powder on, and they just went on perfectly. I mean, they feel really secure. They're amazing. Just trust in just letting them sit, because if you don't let them sit, they'll start sliding around and they'll make your makeup look really messy. So we'll go ahead and move on to contouring and finish this face up with a little bit of a highlighter and some lip liner, and then we'll be ready to go after I do my hair. Alright, so for my contour, I actually use the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 330. It is a really pretty bronzy shade. It's matte and poreless is what it says, but it's super pretty. And I go ahead and use my angled brush from Wet n Wild. This literally, I got it from the Dollar Tree. You can get it from Walmart for $2, but if you want to save $1, go to Dollar Tree. So I go ahead and just put that in there and follow from the top of my ear down to where my mouth, the tip of my mouth is. So just kind of carve that in, and then I bring it up. I want to leave a little bit of space here where I put that concealer so that it just brings my face up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Just make it a little bit darker, bring it up, and then just leave that space right there. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And then bring it up and leave that little bit of space. And I go ahead and pat in my apples and my cheeks just to kind of give it a little bronzy shade. And then I go in with this Wet n Wild Girl. It's probably about $3 at Walmart, and this is the shade Mellow Wine. And you see it's also kind of a bronzy, pinky shade, and that helps a lot with blending it in. Now, when I start with my blush, I like to start from the back and then move forward and smile, and just kind of tap into the apples. Do the same thing on the other side. Start towards the back and blend forward, and then tap into the apples of my cheeks. I'm going to go ahead and contour my nose here. And I'm going to do it with a blending brush. And I'm going to make a line down the middle of my nose, up into my eyebrow here, and do the same on the other side, and make them as close as I can as possible. And then I'm going to cut my nose off here at the tip. And then I'm going to leave it as is. A lot of people will put like a line over their bridge of the nose like this to kind of make a button nose, which, I mean, I do it sometimes. Like, I'll do it today just to kind of show you guys what I do. And then I grab this big powder brush and I'm going to blend that in. So I'm going to grab a highlighter now that I've done my contouring. And, forgot to contour the top of my forehead. So whenever I contour the top of my forehead, I pull my hair back and I do towards the hairline. And then again, you're gonna leave this little part open, so you can do the sides of your temples. The sides of your temples, but make sure to leave a little bit of that concealer opening just to kind of make your eyes come up. You see how it kind of, yeah. So, kind of warm my face up a little bit. And then we're gonna get into that highlighting, girl. Alrighty, so, excuse me. My bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this Wet n Wild highlighter. It's actually my favorite highlighter. This one is called Botanic Dream. It is a pinky toned. Let's see if you can see that tone. It's kind of hard to see, but it is a very beautiful highlighter. I use a fan brush, and I'm gonna start off with my nose, and I'm gonna do a little dot on the tip of my nose here. And then I'm going to only highlight where it goes in. So, right there. To make my nose look a little bit thinner. So now I'm going to spray with my Wet n Wild Rose setting spray. It's 3-in-1. You can use it as a primer, but I really don't like to do that, so. And it's a good $2, $3 at Walmart, so I'm not worried about using too much product. I'll let it dry up a little bit. And I stick my little fan brush in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just pat this in since it's still wet. I don't want to make it any streakier. And pat. And let me remind you, this is all drugstore makeup. So you don't have to go to Ulta and spend $300 on a full face of makeup. You can literally get the same look if you have the right products. So, just want to make that clear. And I do kind of like to highlight the top of my eyebrow right here. And just let it be. I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom eyelashes with my L'Oreal, who knows what it's called, but this is the brush on it. And do the bottom lashes. I do a thin layer since my face is still kind of wet. I don't want my face to catch some of the black. So just kind of let that sit for a minute. And that's about as far as I'm gonna go right now. I know that I've been looking this way and look stupid looking this way, but this is kind of where my mirror's at. So I'm gonna let that sit. I'm going to show you guys how I do my lips, but I'm gonna do it in a different room whenever I'm done getting ready. I don't like to do my lips until I'm about to leave the house. So this is kind of what we've come up with. It's very natural, but very sleek at the same time, which is what I love. So I do go back in with the brush that I was using for blush, and I do go back in and just kind of put a little bit more on, because I feel like whenever you wet your face to set it, it kind of takes away from that a little bit. So, and then just put a little bit of blush on your nose. So I blow dried my hair and I didn't feel myself straightening it, but this is how long my hair is here. And it's very thick, so now just to put some lipstick on. I will do that probably in a little bit, change, and then get my day started. Motherfucking hair. Alrighty, so I went ahead and just put my lipstick on. I will tell you guys what I use. I'm pretty sure it's NYX in the number 14, and I use a Wet n Wild lip liner in the color like mocha or cocoa. It's some type of brown shade. So I am going to Amarillo today to return some of the things that I bought and go shopping a little bit. And I don't know, just spend time with my fiance. So I thank you guys for watching this video. This is my completed look, and yeah, see you next time.